Okay, it's Thursday, May 7th. It's the final day of week number 6. So today's activity is to finish your quiz number 3. Quiz number 3 is going to talk about the LS2-2 relationship between organisms. So make sure you study your predator-prey, make sure you study your competition, make sure you study your types of symbiosis with examples of each. For the constructive response question, there's actually going to be 2 questions. The first one is to come up with an example of predation or competition for your endangered species. So research it, describe it, give me an example. And question number 2 is to find an example of mutualism or commensalism or parasitism. So come up with one example for your endangered species and describe it. So tell me who's benefiting, who's hurting, etc. So it is open notes, so you can use your research, your notes, and stuff like that. So when you go into BrainPop, you'll see a link here for quiz number 3, LS2-2 Symbiosis quiz. And then you're going to click on the Go button, take the quiz, do the best you can. And so we'll just wrap up with all these different examples. I really like this unit because it allows us to explore how plants and animals really interact with each other. There's so many plants and animals out there, and they get their food and protection in so many different ways. Now, if you look at this picture, you probably recognize a lot of them. We have the remora fish here, the moray eel, our favorite botfly here, our minor bird as competition. But then there's this really interesting picture right here of a person's foot, right? And this is called guinea worm. So I'm going to show you a quick video about guinea worm, about what it does to you. So here you go.
In poor, remote areas, guinea worm is contracted by drinking water contaminated with microscopic fleas carrying the worm's larvae. Inside the victim's body, the larvae grow into mature worms as long as 3 feet, after about 1 year emerging through agonizingly painful blisters in the skin.
It feels like a hot coal on your skin, and that sort of compels a person to walk into water to cool that burning sensation. And when they do that, the water acts like a trigger and the worm releases tens of thousands of larvae into the water source.
And that's when the worm's life cycle starts again. There is no cure for this, and the only treatment is wrapping the worm around a stick and pulling it out inch by inch, a slow and painful process that can take weeks.
So as you saw in that video for guinea worm, what happens is that it infects someone inside their body. Now, unlike a tapeworm that goes in and out of the mouth and the butthole, the guinea worm will come out of any area. And when it comes out, it's really painful. It's like hot. And so the person would want to cool it down, so they go into the river. Once it goes in the river, the guinea worm will go and release all its eggs, thus getting in the water supply. Thus, other people drink it and they get infected. Now, the good news about this is that when President Carter started this in the 1980s, there were millions of cases. By the time I started teaching in 2016, they got down to about 15,000 cases. It was still a lot. I just looked it up online, and just this year, 2020, there have only been 8 cases. So the goal is to have 0 cases, because once you have 0 cases of guinea worm, it will never come back. So this is why we study this kind of thing, because if scientists understand how parasites work, if scientists understand how to treat them, how to block them from reproducing, then we can save a lot of people, because it went down from millions of cases down to 8, which is absolutely amazing. What's interesting is that guinea worms have been around for a long time, and so there's a theory that the guinea worms are the symbol of medicine. So here we have 2 symbols. We have the rod of caduceus and the rod of asclepius. And to be honest, most of us get this confused. But this one right here is the medical one. And there's a theory that this is actually the guinea worm, where they would take that stick and wrap the worm and pull it out slowly, because that's what they did thousands of years ago. This one looks cooler, but it actually isn't the medicine one. It's one for travelers and merchants and stuff like that. So how do we know which one is the real one? Well, look at an ambulance. When you look at an ambulance, which one do they use? They actually use the rod of Asclepius. Okay, have a good weekend. Thank you. Bye.